Hello to the folks who are hopping on to join us today. Let's give it a few more minutes, let a few more people join the webinar, and then we'll get started in just a couple of minutes here. Thanks for your patience. All right. Thank you to all the folks who are hopping on to join us today. This is the A360 Sync demo webinar being led today by the product genius behind 360 Sync, Michael Reuter. How you doing today?
Put a smile on my face, Marina.
Awesome.
Doing
So
good. How are you?
great. And so glad to have all of you with us today as we walk through how 360 Sync file automation can completely revolutionize what your day-to-day looks like if you're spending time on document management. As a reminder, this webinar is being recorded. If you have any questions throughout our presentation, please use the Zoom Q&A function, the Q&A function in your Zoom toolbar, and we'll be able to take your questions. All right, with that, Michael, I'll hand things off to you.
All right. Thanks, Marina. So just like she said, we're going to do a quick little demo of 360 Sync today. I may even do a second one showing off the cloud tool. But first thing I'm going to do, we're going to do a quick little PowerPoint kind of explaining the problem that 360 Sync solves, and then we will jump into a 5 or 10-minute demo. So my whole point of saying that is that if you have any questions along the way, please feel free to use that Q&A section. Snap that question over to me. I'll do my best to answer it as soon as possible. Okay. So first thing that we're going to talk about is what does 360 Sync do? And I'll start that off by telling you a story about myself. So just like Marina said, my name is Michael. I'm the product manager of 360 Sync. 360 Sync has been around since 2016 or 2017. But before we built 360 Sync here at Evolve, I was a BIM coordinator and I was a project engineer for a hospital project in North Carolina. And so part of my job involved file management. And so basically what I had to do as an engineer was I had to download a file from an email that I would get from either the architect, engineer, the mechanical, electrical coordinators, whomever it may be. But I would get an email from them, click a link, download something, and then I would have to save that file on our server. And then I would have to go and turn around and do the exact same thing a second time because our project utilized SharePoint as the document management system of choice for that project. And then I would have to do it a third time because everybody in the field wanted it. So we would connect, I would have to copy that same file to BIM 360. And then I would have to do it a fourth time because the architect needed that file in their system, which was Newforma. So I had to do everything 4 times. Okay. It was annoying. It was time consuming, probably took me an hour a day. Each folder structure for each tool was a little bit different, just because different people created them and there were different requirements for all of them. So it just took a long time to deal with. So I spent a lot of time doing that and I hated it. And so when I came here to Evolve, our owner, Richard Burrows, always asks the question, what's a broken workflow in your industry? And so when he asked me that, I thought of this problem. And so basically what 360 Sync does is it really improves your file management process. Okay. So before you would have to move them to those 4 places one at a time, boom, boom, boom. With 360 Sync, you create a sync. You don't have to download the files. You don't have to create complicated folder structures. You don't have to back them up everywhere. You don't have to review that everything made it. You just create that sync from one place to the 1, 2, 3, 4 other places. And then all you have to do is validate and confirm that all those files made it to their final destination. So that frees you up to have an extra meeting with your team, solve an extra problem every day, or heck, just go home on time. Okay. So when I say that 360 Sync connects to everything that you see on the screen here, I mean 360 Sync can copy files to or from every single tool that you see on the screen here. Okay. If anybody wants to shout out a request for where you want to see files copied to or from, I can probably make that happen in my demo, but I'll go through everything right here, okay? So right out of the box, 360 Sync can copy files to or from Windows. Because it can connect to Windows, it can also connect to things that Windows connects to. So things like Box, Dropbox, Google Drive, Ignite, ShareFile, ODrive, OneDrive, Panzura. Those things all leverage Windows by using desktop clients or something similar. And because those things connect to Windows, 360 Sync can connect to those things and copy files to them or from them, okay? Then along the way, we've built it out to work with things like PlanGrid, Viewpoint for Projects, Newforma, Citrix files, Bluebeam Studio projects, Autodesk Vault, ACC and BIM 360, Asite, SharePoint, and Procore. So all of those things we can take files to or from. Now, with our most popular tools, Autodesk, Procore, we can do several different things with those. Okay, so with Autodesk, we can, of course, download files or upload files to or from a BIM 360 or an ACC project. But we can also publish models from BIM Collaborate Pro or BIM 360 Design. And then we can also download issue data to Excel, which you can then edit and upload back at your leisure. And then it would update all of the data. And then with Procore, what we can do, we've always been able to download the documents and the folders there, but we can also we can upload and download documents, but we can also upload and download drawings. And then we can also download RFI and submittals and their attachments. Okay, so so those are the things that we can do with the big two, I would say. And then yes, we also do several things with metadata and with transferring files based off of a status. But those are the big things that we do. Okay, so that's everything that we connect to. Okay. So now I'll jump into my demo. Okay, so like I said at the beginning, we have two tools. We have a cloud tool that allows you to connect through the cloud. And then we also have a desktop tool. Okay, the desktop tool connects to everything that I showed previously. The cloud tool connects to SharePoint, Windows, BIM 360 and ACC, Procore, PlanGrid, and Newforma. Okay, so it connects to those 6 things, and we can take files to or from it. I'm going to show off a demo for the desktop. If you guys want, I can talk through or show some things off on the cloud a little bit later. But the reason that I'm doing that is because we have a nice update that's coming out next week, and I'm going to show off some of those features. Okay, so first thing that we're going to do is we are going to we're going to set up a connection. Okay. And so if we're going to set up a connection inside of 360 Sync, which this right here on my screen is 360 Sync, super easy to do. You just choose what you want to connect to in the data source. In this example, I've already set up a Procore connection, but you choose that from the dropdown, you name it something intelligent, and then you put your email in. And then from there, you would just hit connect. Okay. If I'm going to connect to Autodesk, same thing. Choose what I want to connect to. name it something intelligent, choose the exact tool that I want to connect to, because Autodesk has several tools. But you choose that, then you put your email in. I'll show you basically how that works here with this one. Okay, so you put your username and password in. We're logging in to Autodesk. And then the first time that you do this, you're going to be asked to allow the app to work. If you hit allow, you're good to go. Okay, so you set that up for whatever you want to connect to. You do that one time, provided you run 360 Sync more than once a week. You shouldn't have to log in unless you have to change your password or something like that. Okay, so you set everything up with your connections one time, and from there, you start building projects. And so you can see I've got one that's in progress, then I've built 10 other ones. So if I wanted to add a new project, I just hit add project here. And we'll call this 360 Sync webinar. And so, like I said, there's 3 things we can do with Autodesk. We can sync files, we can publish models, and we can download issues, okay? But for this example, we're just gonna sync files, okay? And so let's say we want to download drawings from Procore, okay? So I can do that. Oh, guess I do need to log into Procore. Sorry about that. Okay. So we'll come back in here. And so again, if I want to connect to Procore, I'll choose that as my source. If I want to download this stuff to Windows, I can choose my destination. Then I'll choose my company. I'll choose my project. And so now I want to connect to drawings. And so if I want to filter by set, maybe I just want to, download a specific set. Maybe I wanted to do, I'll do a couple of them here. Maybe I wanted to just do this one, or maybe I wanted to do both of those. I could choose that, okay? So I could choose what set or what sets I wanted to download. I don't have to worry about filtering by file type here, because obviously every Procore drawing would be a PDF. So I don't need to really mess with that. But now, so I've chosen what sets I want to download. This is a new feature that we're about to roll out. We're in our final stages of testing it right now. It's already passed, but there were some other things that we're working on. So I chose the files that I want, or the drawings that I want to copy, and now I'm going to choose where I want them to be copied. So I'm going to choose box. Okay. So I don't have a server, so this is my next closest thing. So we'll call this, there it is. Didn't get to name it in time. So we'll call this Procore drawings. All right. So there we go. So I'm going to be saving my Procore drawings to my box account. And so now I'm going to come down here and I'm going to hit save. Okay. This time I'm also going to copy files from Autodesk to SharePoint. Okay. And so I'll choose my company in Autodesk. I'll choose my project, and then I will choose my folder. So again, I could choose every single folder inside of here. I could choose everything. So if I wanted to move all the project files, I could just pick that root folder. But I'm going to pick a couple of folders instead. So I'm going to pick 3 folders here. Then I'll pick 4. I'll just pick those 4. So if I want to copy those 4 files, then those 4 folders, then I could do that. Also, if I just wanted to move specific file types, I could do that. So maybe I wanted to just move PDFs and Revit models, I could do that. Okay, but I want to move everything. Okay. And so I've chosen those 4 folders to copy. And so now I'm going to choose where I want those to go in SharePoint. So I'm going to pick, I'm just going to pick a fun project. We'll pick this Jericho one. And then I will choose where I want these to go. So we want these to go to SharePoint. So we're going to call this from Autodesk. Okay, so I'll do that. I'll choose those. And so now we'll just name this, we'll save it. And so now I've set it up so that we are syncing from 2 places. Okay. Let me move my Q&A thing over here. Should I had that open? Okay, so I just got a question from Mark Williford. He asked, for something like ACC, do I have to have their Connect service purchased? No, you do not. The only thing that you have to do for connecting to Autodesk is you have to go to you just have to go to the account admin portal and then go to the apps page and turn our app on. Notice we are the very first app. You click open right here. Doesn't cost anything to do it, but you set that up. And then now, as we saw before, or as you saw when I was doing this, now your Autodesk Hub is visible from 360 Sync. Okay, but you do that, and then whatever projects you have access to, you now have access to with 360 Sync. It doesn't give you admin powers or anything like that. It gives you the exact same functionality that you have manually, and it empowers you to do that and automate it. Okay. Nasuni is Nasuni a sync location? I do not know what Nasuni is. If that's like a desktop tool? If it shows up kind of like Box Sync or Google Drive, or like a server, then okay. So I've set my stuff up here. We're going from Procore to Windows, or to a server, or to Dropbox, or to Box, I should say, and then we're going from Autodesk to SharePoint. So now, if I just wanted this to run right now, I could hit play. If I wanted to schedule it, I could choose to, I could choose the days that I wanted it to run, choose the time I wanted it to run, and then because I want it to run regardless of whether I'm at my computer or not, I would put my username and password in for logging into this computer, and then it would run every day, Monday through Friday, regardless of whether I was logged into the computer or not. So I do that, I hit save, and then now Monday through Friday, 1:24 p.m., it's going to run. Okay. So now I'll come over here and check this out. Okay. So as it's going to start going, we'll see progress there. We'll see files moving. So we'll give that a second. And then I'll come over here to SharePoint as well. Okay, so we'll come over here to this one. So this is where we're moving everything for SharePoint. So it hasn't started with that one yet because the first one that it's copying is the Procore drawings. But basically that's it. It'll go through, it'll give you the progress. Since that one's going a little bit slower, I'll kind of show you how what it looks like when it's syncing files. So you can kind of see it copies each folder. You can see each file that's been moved. If a file has already run, it's going to skip it. Or if that folder or if that file type was filtered out, it would skip it. But then if it was successful, it would show you a green dot. If it was unsuccessful, it would show you a red dot. Inside a folder, if some were successful and some weren't, you would see a yellow dot, and then you'd see you could inspect and see which ones were failed or succeeded. But that's pretty much how it works. When it runs, it gives you a like a status of, like the green bar would fill up as time went on. So hopefully that was helpful. Also with the main difference between setting workflows up in the cloud versus the desktop is it's a little bit easier to set up multiple connections to multiple different places within this tool. And then also the other thing that we have is we have a real-time sync option that is currently in beta. So if you wanted to test that out, you could sync files from one place to another. Then once they're done syncing, if you updated a file in the source, then it would update it in the destination. We've got that in beta for all the things that we connect to on the cloud. So I guess that's pretty much my presentation. I'll go back to John Carbon's question about Nasuni. Can it be added as a sync location? Nasuni is similar to Panzura. So if like the way that Panzura works, or at least for me, my experience of it worked where basically it would Panzura kind of acted just like your server or your network drive, your shared drive or your network drive. So we never even really saw, the Panzura functionality. It just worked just like a server would work. So if Nasuni works like that, where basically, it's facilitating a server connection, then we should be able to connect to that no problem. I'd be happy to, show that off, in a demo, if that's something that would interest you, John. So yeah. Okay, so we can come down and look at this one. Mine's still going. So here we can see this one failed for a little bit during my blip in connectivity. So I'm going to have to go back and resync that folder, but there you go. Are there reports or notifications, such as if files or folders result in errors? Okay, so the logs are our report currently. But you can also set it up to email you, letting you know when an error occurred. You can have it send it to whomever you want. You can have it sent on error, on success, or both, and then include the logs. Let's see. I'll show you what the logs look like. You do that like it's a text file, and then you open it, and then you can kind of hit Control F and find any error that might pop up. Okay, and so then I could see, okay, this file failed, but then it succeeded after that. So I could go and review all that stuff. Okay, great question, John. John just asked, he said that he wants to use this as a record information management solution for copying Autodesk models to a second location. Would every project have to be configured manually? Okay, so here's what I would say. If it's a live project, I would suggest setting it up manually so that every day it sync the data back and forth. Okay, but we do have the ability to migrate everything in one swoop. Okay, and I'll show you how that works. Okay, so I'm just going to hit save and duplicate here. So let's say I wanted to move all of the files in this CTG folder, right? Or the CTG hub, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 projects. Obviously, you're going to have a dozen, several dozen, maybe even 100. But basically, if I wanted to copy all of those, I could just stop right there. Okay. I'm going to copy everything from here. And then if I wanted to move this to SharePoint or to my server, I could just choose the location. And so what would happen is it would create a folder for each project, and then it would drop every document and every folder, every subfolder, every file, and every subfolder into that folder that it created for that project. Okay. So you could definitely do that. But again, I would suggest you do that for your old projects. That's fine. You just migrate them one time. And then for the projects that are still live, I would suggest that you manually sync them every day. Okay. That would be my suggestion. You don't have to do it that way, but I would say if it's a live project, that's what you're going to want to do. It'll go a whole lot faster for that live project. Great questions. Okay, so any other questions? Got another one. Correct. If in that example, if you were to add a new project, yes, it would do it. But however, it would still have to check every single file here, then every single file here and here and here and here. So it would sync. It would check every single one. So it would take a long time to get through everything. That's why I suggest manually or not manual setting up each live project. Because it only takes about 2 or 3 minutes to set up a project. And it would just go by a lot faster, and you could manage that better. That's my suggestion. You don't have to do that, but that's how I've seen it work best for our customers. What's the main differences between the web and the desktop versions? Sure. So the main thing is with the desktop version, we connect to everything you see here. Okay. With the cloud, we connect to everything you see here. Okay. The other main difference is we have some bidirectional functionality for Windows, Procore, and Autodesk, meaning if you have 2 sources of truth and you need to update both places and the folder structure needs to be the same in 2 places and they need to be updated, we can accommodate that. I'm working on that for SharePoint as well. But Procore, Windows, Autodesk, those 3 things we can do bidirectionality with the desktop. And then the main the other thing is that with the desktop, obviously you have to install 360 Sync on a computer that's behind your firewall. So that sometimes people like that because it makes it more secure. The thing that's nice about the cloud is that it's always on. And so we're leveraging, rather than scheduled tasks on a Windows computer, we are leveraging an AWS schedule system to start and schedule our syncs. And then the other thing that we do is that's different between that the cloud has that the desktop does not have is we have real-time sync in beta form. Okay, so when I say real-time sync, I mean you sync it once. After that's done, if you update a file in the source location, it will be updated in the destination location. Also, we don't have the hub sync that John Carbon was asking about in the cloud. Those are probably the 3 main differences there. But the functionality, I mean, here you can kind of see there's like a visual setup rather than just walking through a list setup like there is on my desktop tool. But that's pretty much it. So if your company would like to see, if you're intrigued and you guys want to, have a demo set up with the rest of, with someone else in your company, or you want to learn more about 360 Sync, shoot me a line. My email is my name, Michael.Reuter, Reuter, at evolvemep.com. Shoot me a line right after this. I'll set up a meeting. I know that I went 38 minutes today. Normally I go about 15 or 20 minutes on my demos. So you're pretty much in and out of there, barring any good questions from your team. So we can get you in and out. It's pretty simple to explain and show off. So I appreciate everybody bearing with me today with the shenanigans that I had with the power going off at my house. I really appreciate your patience. Hopefully you guys found something valuable in this. Thanks. Thanks for your time today. And oh, got another one. There we go. Chris asked for my email. Yeah, I put it in there. So the email is in the chat, michael.Reuter@evolvemep.com. Okay, guys. So if we don't have any more questions, thanks for your time. Have a good rest of the day, and I'll talk to you guys soon, I hope.